Imagine your pancreas as a weary factory worker, buried under layers of visceral fat like a suffocating blanket of toxic sludge, churning out insulin nonstop to battle skyrocketing blood sugar. Harvard studies show this hidden belly fat spikes inflammation and insulin resistance, secretly hiking your type 2 diabetes risk by up to 70%. In the first 72 hours of slashing calories, your insulin levels dip sharply, giving those overworked beta cells a desperate breather as hormonal chaos begins to unwind. By day 3, per Cleveland Clinic data, your liver ramps up, dropping stored fat by 30% and easing the glucose flood. Over weeks, as the fat melts, inflammation fades, and beta cells rebound stronger. But what if this toxic blanket finally lifts? Could your pancreas roar back to life, or is the damage irreversible? Ready for the step-by-step timeline of those first days? Let's break it down. Starting with the ultra-early phase, the first 0 to 72 hours after you create that energy deficit. Think skipping the extra donut or powering through a brisk walk. Your pancreas gets an immediate breather before the fat even budges much. Mechanically, insulin levels drop as your body switches from constant fueling to tapping reserves, easing the overload on beta cells that crank out insulin like overworked assembly line pros. That suffocating sludge, visceral fat, starts signaling less hormonal havoc, dialing down low-level inflammation right away. A standout study from Diabetologia, 2011, on type 2 diabetes reversal shows how this quick hormone shift sets the stage for bigger changes, with folks seeing stabilized blood sugar in days. In real life, you might not notice fireworks yet, no slimmer waist on day 1, but that nagging afternoon slump? It lightens up as your pancreas isn't screaming for a timeout. Short-term perk. Energy ticks up and you dodge those wild sugar crashes. Long-term, it prevents beta cell burnout, cutting diabetes odds by up to 70% if you stick with it. Imagine trading that foggy, tired haze for steady pep. Why not kick off with a simple calorie cut today? Your pancreas is begging for it. By days 3 to 7, the action ramps up, with your liver leading the charge and your pancreas cashing in big time. Here's the science. As visceral fat mobilizes, liver fat plummets, up to 30% in a week per those twin cycle reversal trials in diabetes care, making the liver more insulin sensitive and curbing overnight glucose dumps. This lets your pancreas slack off on baseline insulin production, like the factory worker finally getting a lunch break instead of pulling doubles. The toxic blanket thins, reducing lipotoxicity that poisons beta cells. In everyday terms, if you've been battling prediabetes, that morning grogginess fades as fasting blood sugar normalizes, from 9.2 to 5.9 millimoles per liter in one study group. You feel it. Less hunger pangs, steadier moods, maybe even looser pants already since visceral fat shrinks faster than the jiggly stuff. Short-term win. HbA1c improves, easing metabolic stress. Over years, this slashes fatty liver risks, indirectly shielding your pancreas from pancreatitis flare-ups. It's hilarious how your body prioritizes dumping the bad fat first, almost like it's saying, "Thanks for the help, I've got this." Ditch the soda habit now, and watch this phase turbocharge your motivation. Moving to weeks 2 to 4, your pancreas starts actively shedding its own fat, trailing the liver but gaining momentum. Mechanically, as visceral fat drops 10 to 28%, pancreatic lipids follow suit, easing the siege on beta cells from free fatty acids and cytokines, those inflammatory messengers turning your insides into a war zone. White fat might even brown up, boosting fat-burning efficiency. A key Harvard-backed trial in Nature showed obese diabetics slashing pancreatic fat by 28% on a high-protein, low-carb diet versus 11% on standard ones, directly boosting insulin sensitivity. Picture this in your life. That post-meal bloating? It eases as digestion smooths out and you notice fewer cravings because blood sugar doesn't roller coaster. If intermittent fasting is your jam, Pre-diabetics in WebMD-cited studies saw pancreatic fat slide alongside visceral losses without probiotic tweaks or gender differences. Short-term, 1 to 8% lower blood sugar, less fatigue. Long-haul, inflammation cools, dropping heart disease risks and preventing chronic pancreas damage. It's like your factory worker ditching the sludge blanket for a fresh uniform. Empowering, right? Swap processed junk for veggies, and you'll feel this shift, proving small changes pay off huge. Week 8 marks the pancreas's comeback kid moment, where it flips from defense to offense. The mechanism? Deeper fat clearance hits, with pancreatic triglycerides dropping from 8% to 6.2% per that landmark Diabetologia study, restoring the first-phase insulin burst, the quick post-meal response that's like hitting the brakes on sugar spikes. Visceral fat's endocrine disruptions fade, normalizing signals. In practice, for type 2 folks, this means diabetes remission in up to 70%, as seen in bariatric cases where levels match non-diabetics. You experience it. Meals don't leave you wiped out. Energy sustains, and that stubborn midsection starts deflating noticeably. Short-term boost. Insulin resistance falls 40% per HOMA-IR metrics, making weight loss easier. Long-term. Smoother pancreatic borders reduce irregularity, cutting stroke and cancer risks. Think of your pancreas roaring back, shedding the toxic load like a bad breakup. Liberating. If you've been slacking on exercise, amp it up now. The rewards compound. Into months 3 to 6, stabilization kicks in with sustained fat loss if you're consistent. Pancreatic lipids steady 20 to 30% below baseline. Science-wise, after 7 to 11% body weight drop, fat clearance correlates strongly, R equals 0.664, with visceral reductions, smoothing morphology and enhancing beta cell recovery, as Cleveland Clinic post-surgery data shows volumes unchanged but overload down 20 to 30%. A PMC review highlights 84% liver fat crash pulling pancreas along, resolving steatosis. Real-world feels. Unexplained fatigue vanishes, brain fog lifts, and you handle carbs better without spikes. Short-term, 70% diabetes remission in trials, lower pancreatitis odds. Long-term, diminished cytokine storms mean less metabolic strain, slashing heart attack risks. Your factory worker, now thriving in a clean shop, free from sludge. Commit to ongoing walks or meal preps. It's the difference between temporary tweaks and lifelong vitality. From months 6 to 12, it's all about maintenance mode, where benefits lock in if weight stays off. Mechanically, pancreatic fat holds at 29 to 30% reductions in high-loss groups, with morphology stabilizing per 18-month lifestyle interventions in diabetes care. Even modest 3-kilogram drops yield 5 to 6% fat dips. Bariatric follow-ups show sustained triglyceride normalization. In daily life, you wake energized, clothes fit loosely, and those old aches? Gone, as inflammation markers like HSCRP plummet. Short-term, efficient insulin means fewer meds, better sleep. Long-haul, lower leptin levels predict enduring sensitivity, preventing rebound diseases. Imagine the pancreas as a refreshed worker, clocking in with ease. No more toxic blankets smothering the vibe. Stick to habits like portion control. It's your ticket to dodging the yo-yo trap. Finally, beyond a year, if you've kept visceral fat at bay, your pancreas enters hero status. Persistent reductions guard against reaccumulation. Per long-term PMC studies, ongoing diet/exercise prevents fat rebound, linking to lower pancreatic cancer risks, obesity's a culprit, and cardiometabolic woes. GLP-1 agonists amplify this in diabetics. You live it. Vibrant health, no more unexplained weight battles, steady blood work. Short-term echoes endure, but long-term? Slashed acute pancreatitis and stroke odds, endocrine balance restored. Your factory worker? Promoted to boss, sludge long forgotten. Why wait? Ditch bad habits today. Your pancreas's future self will thank you with a high five. So, folks, that's your pancreas's incredible journey from sludge-buried worker to health hero, proving small changes like ditching junk food and moving more can rewrite your story. Don't wait. Start today for that energy boost and diabetes dodge. I hope these insights bring you real value. If this video hits home, smash that like button below, subscribe to spread the word, and help more folks protect their health. Thanks for watching. Stay strong.